Welcome to the Fearful Fright series, where we will be reading with our favorite green ghoul, Grimmer. Now sit back and enjoy this twisted tale. Today our story is called Frequency Part 2. So as me, Jimmy, and Feeder continued on this road, we could see campsites, a public pool and swamps. On this road you could see a long stretch of highway, with bridges covering it every so often. Eventually we came to an opening in the swamp. We had started to walk through it when I could start to see places I knew. Like my old town I lived in, and my old schools. I seen the back of my grandparents' house. And even all the old houses I used to live in. I asked Feeder, what is this place? He said, heaven, remember? No, I tried to explain. I mean this swamp. Why are there so many highways connected to this swamp? Oh, Feeder said. You see boys, this is like a transit center. All these highways lead to every link that connects you to other frequencies. Or I suppose, you guys would call them dimensions. Basically every memory you've ever had, you can return to. People and places. Things like that, Feeder said. We continued to talk about other things that intrigued me and Jimmy. After some time we eventually came to another road. On this road were suburban-looking houses. They had big yards and the road we were on was pretty long. But it didn't seem so. Eventually, after walking down this road, we came across a lot of stores and even a mall. It almost looks like we've been there before. But the places seemed slightly different. We kept walking and soon came to a bus station. All right, Feeder told us. Hop on. The bus won't wait forever, you know. He said, smiling. As we both got on the bus and began to drive, we could see locations we knew up close. Like schools and old neighborhoods. I almost felt like I was headed back to grade school all over again. How long will it take us to get there? Said Jimmy. Feeder just smiled and shook his head. Remember, Feeder said, these things don't exist here. Nor do they matter here. If you stayed here for 600 human years, when you go back home, not even a half of second would have gone by. Oh, right, I forgot. But in human time, Jimmy said. How long will it take us in human time to get there? Feeder said, we're already here. Just then me and Jimmy looked out the window. We could see an entire castle made out of pure diamonds. Wow, me and Jimmy both said. As the bus door opened up, me and Jimmy began walking in a fast pace towards the doors. In amazement of all the beautiful diamonds. Hold on, wait for me, Feeder said, running. Trying to keep up, Feeder told us. Hey, listen guys, when you're here you'll be on your best behavior. Don't even think about lying. Or anything bad for that matter. So if you need to get anything out, do it now. I looked at Jimmy and smiled. Then I punched him as hard as I could in his arm. But in a playful manner. Ouch, Jimmy said. I owed you that one. I said, laughing. Yeah, I guess you did. He agreed, laughing back. Okay, Feeder. We're ready, I told Feeder. All right then, Feeder said. Then he began to lead the way. Soon we came to a huge giant door. This door wasn't made out of diamond though. It appeared to be marble. Feeder said in a loud voice. A specific name. This name I cannot repeat. Because I am not worthy yet. But it was the true name of the Creator. Then the huge doors began to open slowly. As it did, all I could see was blinding white lights. This is where we part ways, Feeder told me and Jimmy. But Feeder, I began saying. But Feeder just cut me off. No, I'm sorry boys. I've finished my duties. Now I have to go back home and continue to do my job. Just then I could hear a voice in my head saying, don't be afraid. Come in. Then Jimmy said, did you hear that? I told him I did. Then we looked at each other nervously. Well, Jimmy, I said. I guess we should go in. As we slowly made our way inside, we were blinded by bright white light coming from everywhere. When our eyes adjusted to the bright white light we could see something. It was a child like us. No more than 13 years old. But he was pitch black. No face at all. Just a shadow. But it wasn't a shadow at the same time. "Hello," I said. "You wanted to see us, sir." Through our minds we could hear him. "Yes. Welcome to the void. This place is outside of existence itself. There are no frequencies here. Excuse the light. I know it can be overwhelming at first. But you'll soon adjust to it," the figure said. "I wanted a word with you two boys. It seems you boys came across technology your species wasn't supposed to have just yet." "Yes," Jimmy said. "We're very sorry. We should have known better. I promise it won't happen again." "Don't worry about it," the figure told us. "I actually made it so. The crashed ship. You boys walking in the woods when you did. I've even decided who your parents would be. But that's not important now. The reason I made it so that you would end up here, was because I intend to use you two boys." "For what?" I said, confused. "We've been watching you two. Watching you grow. I believe you have what it takes to join." "Join?" Jimmy said. "Join what?" "Well, you see," the figure continued. "Each frequency has a delicate balance. In order to keep the frequencies in balance, we have a legion of my mercenaries known as Guardians of Dimensions. We travel through all frequencies when needed. And not only will you help protect your own frequency, but other frequencies as well. We have 7 mercenaries for every frequency. The craft you both found. We're actually 2 of your frequency's guardians. You boys will be the first humans to be offered this honor. Your heart, mind and soul, all are in alignment. I believe you two young men are worthy." Jimmy said, "What about our home and families?" The figure said, "You would have never existed if you join. Your families won't even know you've even existed." "So what will it be?" the figure said. I told the figure, "Yes. I'll join you." To be honest, this whole thing intrigued me. Sure, I would miss my family. But I would be doing something much bigger than I ever thought I could do. My friend Jimmy said, "I'm sorry. But no, I can't. I miss my family too much. I want to see them again." "All right, I will send you back with the other 5 we've returned earlier." "Wait," I said. "The others are already home." "Yes," the figure said. "They're back at the swimming pool at school. As far as they know. None of this ever happened." He said, "What about my friend Jimmy?" I said in a sad voice. "He will never have known you've existed either." "I am sorry." Then I just looked at my friend Jimmy and said, "I love you, man, and I'm gonna miss you." I told him, "I know this won't mean anything soon, but you were like a brother to me. And you may forget about me. But I'll always remember you." And I told him to always be good and kind, and helpful to others. "I want you to come back here when it's all said and done. That way we can hang out again." "Thank you, man," Jimmy said. "I'll be back one day. I promise you, buddy." Then I gave my friend a hug. As I did, he disappeared in my arms. And I just stood there crying. Then the figure said, "Hey, it's okay. Do you remember how time doesn't work here?" "Yes," I said. "Well, head back to the wormhole you first came in," he said to me, smiling. I began to explain that I didn't even know how we got here really. And that I might get lost. Just then my mind was full of this entire frequency's locations. As if I had a sort of mental map. "Like I've been here before." "Close your eyes," the figure said. Then I did. When I opened them, I was back in the interdimensional wormhole we first arrived in. And across the room I could see him. It was Jimmy. "Jimmy," I yelled. "Did you change your mind or something?" I said, laughing. He just looked at me confused. "I don't know what happened," he said. "The government scanned me with some kind of scanning device. Then they shot me in the woods. And burned my body to ashes." "Wait," Jimmy said, while looking at me scared. "Who are you? And how did you know my name?" I just smiled at Jimmy and said, "Come on. You have a very small man to meet. He'll explain everything."